It is the first Inkwell Note of 2025, and we are going to get into it. We're going to read everything. We're going to talk about it, and then we're going to talk about some other news that got announced today. Okay? Say hi to YouTube. All right, greetings in 2025. Hello, Maplers of Global MapleStory, or GMS for short. This is Hambyul O, Chief Product Officer, also known as Inkwell. I'd like to start today's note by apologizing for the inconvenience caused by the issue and downtime that occurred this past weekend. We have taken the necessary steps to address the situation and are working hard towards a fair solution for all of our players. Thank you for understanding in this matter. Starts off by apologizing for the Unicube situation. That's fair. Now, I realize it's been a while since the last Inkwell's note. Yeah, I mean, like, what, MapleFest? So, in that time, Team GMS and I have been working hard to create a service and development plan for 2025, taking each and every detail into careful consideration. Our plans are still taking shape, and there have been a constant flux of factors leading me to adjust the timing of the announcement. While I can't provide any specifics just yet, perhaps it would relieve some of our Maplers' frustration at the lack of news if I offered a quick look back at the past year and a glimpse at what we've been discussing internally, rather than to keep you all waiting even longer. I like that. I like that. Think of today's post as more of a New Year's greeting than a detailed update. That's completely fair. You know, we're constantly... I've been like already seeing things before like getting into this that like, oh, this is like an L note, an L update. But like, bro, and these are the same people that are like screaming at Nexon to please tell us something, okay? Like, you have to understand that. Like, these are the same people that are just like, bro, like, we got Inkwell, we got 3CMs, and they're not saying shit, right? So like, rather than just like waiting an extra month, for example, you know, or like waiting until like April, like, we're gonna get something right now, whatever that might be. We're gonna get into that right now. We're getting something right now, and you know, it's still communication, right? That's the way I look at it. Like, we're always begging them for more communication, right? And this is a way to look at that. All right, so this past year has been a journey to find Global MapleStory's own direction, starting with Go West and continuing through the Dark Ride, right? We had our summer update and then the more recent winter update. The community has greeted some of our attempts with enthusiasm, which has given us a boost of confidence in our current direction. At the same time, other attempts didn't meet our standards of service or quality, and we recognize that we still need to build and refine our capabilities as a team. Nevertheless, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to the many Maplers who continue to believe in and support us. Inspired by this support, Team GMS has worked tirelessly over the past year to improve our service and development capabilities. We should be able to show you the first fruits of our labor this year and the next. That's what I expected, right? This year, especially in 2026, it's going to take time. We also received a great many responses to the recent end-of-year survey, which gave us a window into the thoughts and opinions of our community. In particular, this survey reaffirmed that many of our Maplers have been devoted Global MapleStory players for a long time. This is why we at Team GMS will work with a greater sense of responsibility to give you the MapleStory that you deserve. In 2025, we will reward you with an even better MapleStory experience. I hope so. That is a very big thing to say and a very big thing to live up to. You know, like a very big idea and plan. So I hope so. I really hope that's the case. You know? So let's talk about some things that are in progress, right? I'd like to share some quick updates on a few topics from our previous Inkwell notes. Field harvesting systems and improvements. This system is receiving quality of life improvements that will be introduced in March of this year, which means next patch, right? Interactive world merge. This project is still being worked on. It will happen this year as planned. Confirmed. Not an idea, not a maybe. It will happen this year. And I have some thoughts on this, but I'll go over it later. I want to first read the entire note, okay? And then Chains of Resentment and Mystical Familiar cards. We're reviewing ways to supply our players with these items again, which we introduced last year. Nothing concrete on that, but they're looking at it. How are we going to? But there is plans and they're reviewing to continue to release the chains, right? Which is a good thing because it's an alternative to having a frenzy totem, which, you know, we're never going to see again, right? That's legacy at this point. You know, I mean, who knows in the future, but, you know, that's just the way it is. And again, familiar cards, I have things to say about that. We'll talk about it in a little bit. Beyond this, Team GMS is currently giving particular consideration to exclusive overseas content that doesn't exist in Korea MapleStory, and how to better localize future KMS content. Giving particular consideration. That could mean Moshen. That could mean the new Blood Moon Festival or whatever it is, right? Blood Moon Forest. That TMS also got recently with the new exclusive jewelry equipment. Many of our Maplers have been voicing the need for additional care when it comes to exclusive content, and we wholeheartedly agree. Absolutely. Within the team, we're constantly discussing topics such as familiar cards in high-level areas and overseas job skill balance as we contemplate a direction that suits GMS's unique situation. So we're talking about fam cards in high-level areas, you know, Talahart, Carcion, Arteria. Start from the top, go down, okay? And they're also talking about like JMS, or not JMS, sorry, but like Kana, Hayato, Lin, you know, job balancing and stuff like that. So, interactive world merge? No, I'm talking about reg server. Yeah. Chronos and Hyperion are heroic. I would also like to mention that the character switch feature, which many of our Maplers have asked us to bring over from KMS, could take some time to implement due to GMS's unique launcher specs and login policy. In spite of these challenges, the system is currently in development. Okay, so we know that they're working on the character switch, but like we thought, right? Like this is big speculation, but that speculation turned out to be very true. That our, like, you know, way of logging into the game, like KMS has the game launcher, right? They don't have like Nexon launcher, they don't have Steam. They still use the old system, right, of like game launcher, which we dropped years ago, many years ago at this point. So we do have, you know, unique launcher specs and login policies that need to be, you know, kind of worked around, whatever that might mean. But they're working on it, which is good. It's good to hear, right? Instead of just like speculating and talking about like, oh, are we going to get this? We're going to get this next patch. You know, why don't we have this? Blah, blah, blah. Please be patient with us as we are hard at work to bring you news you can be excited about. Though it might be a little longer still, we will update you when we have more details to share. I mean, short and simple, right? Nothing too crazy, nothing too amazing. It's nice to hear kind of like, you know, their own thoughts and ideas and what's being taken into consideration. Like, you know, what's the priorities, right? So we can tell that priorities right now would be merging reg servers. You know, they are prioritizing familiar cards, you know, in high level areas, right? Overseas job skill balancing, right? Maybe giving us Moshen, you know, or other overseas content, right? Stuff like that. That's what they're prioritizing right now, and I think that's a good, that's a step in the right direction. You know, that is exactly what they should be prioritizing about, as well as the character switch feature. You know, being able to relog without having to go back to server select every single time. And now the future. And wrapping up, 2025 represents a major milestone as we celebrate Global MapleStory's 20th anniversary. Now, if you see this image, this is very familiar. Unfortunately. To honor such a long and beloved history, we're working harder than ever to put together a worthy 20th anniversary update and event. We plan to share more about this exciting announcement with our Maplers in April. As we move into 2025, we would like to thank you once more for always supporting GMS. So this is like what I liked, you know, it's like a check-in. You know, it's like, hey guys, we're still here. You know, we know that you're always complaining about us not talking to you. So here's some things that we're thinking about. Nothing too concrete yet, but here's just to look into like what we're thinking about, what we might be prioritizing, and what's to come maybe in the very near future. Right? So that was basically this Inkwell Note. It is different than the previous Inkwell Notes, but I don't think that's a bad thing. This is a decent, I wouldn't say amazing, because, you know, the bar has been set very fucking high for the previous Inkwell Notes. But this is a decent introduction into 2025, albeit it would have been nice to have this at the beginning of the year, like the first like week or two into January. But he mentioned that there were some complications and, you know, things talking about that, you know, we had to like double confirm or whatever to see like if we're actually going to be doing this or not. Have they done this before? Yes. And we will get into that in a bit. And there's a thank you gift, right? So depending on when you're watching this video, we're getting 2 Mega Gifts and Growth Potions, 10 EXP nodes, a Symbol Selector coupon, 500 Arcane or 100 Sacred, a Growth Potion Selector coupon, which basically is like really good for like level 3 Link skill, or gives you like a Typhoon Pot, Soul Urda Selector coupon. So that means you can get 90 fraggies from this, which is Pog. A character slots expansion coupon, 60 honor medals. Half of honors this weekend. Yes. 5 mystical familiar cards, and the calligraphy damage skin, non-unit, unfortunately. Okay, and you can claim this starting right now until March 11th. Basically midnight, you know, UTC, right? So that's like what? You got 2 weeks, basically. A little less than 2 weeks, but you got 2 weeks. And then you just talk to the Maple admin in the event hall, claim the thank you gift, right? Blah, 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 blah. And then some notes. We look forward to sharing an even more enjoyable MapleStory throughout the coming year. You have shown us such trust and patience, and we are determined to reward your faith in us. Signed by Hambyul O, Chief Product Officer with Team GMS. And then there's Dr. Lim hiding in the corner, as he always is. He's a little shy. He's a little shy. That's fine. But yeah, I think this is okay. I think people calling this like a big L or whatever, they're just expecting more. Obviously, we want more. We always want more. But I think this is like a decent. We always you know, gifts are always great. As some of us are just looking forward to the gifts from Inkwell Notes. But I think this is a decent introduction into the new year. And listen, he's saying a lot of stuff. He's promising a lot of things. He's saying that we will reward you for being patient with us, right? He has a lot to live up to, you know, like hopefully those aren't just empty words. But it is something to get excited for, you know, for the very near future. The next update, they're going to be implementing the changes to harvesting, right? Hopefully that's good. If it's not, we give them feedback. Be like, this is not enough, right? Or whatever. We give them feedback. They might change it. Feedback is always important. Good, bad, neutral. It's always important, right? And they are listening to the feedback. And these surveys, low-key, like, you got to do them, right? Like, they're extremely important, apparently, you know? So do the surveys and be like genuinely honest, you know, as to like what you want to see, you know, and for your game that you're playing. So I think, again, not amazing, but I think this is a decent introduction into the new year. Okay, that's the Inkwell Note. Now, there's more. Okay, there is more. As I mentioned, this image might be a little familiar, right? Why is this familiar? Well, I noticed it because this is the 21st anniversary of Korean MapleStory, called the Victoria Cup. It's the soccer anniversary. So, I'm hoping that it's not going to be a complete copy-paste fiesta, but Hopefully we will get like some genuine like GMS changes when it comes to the rewards and whatnot, right? The gifts are available for every server. Yeah, reboot or reg. EU and it doesn't matter. Okay. It's not necessarily that this anniversary is bad or anything. We're actually going to go over it just very briefly. But it's a very, like, you know, standard anniversary. Personally, I would have liked a complete custom 20th celebration, you know, for GMS, but maybe I'm asking for too much, right? maybe I'm asking for too much. But yeah, pretty much like this is a very standard anniversary event. We will have more information about this in April, like he said. But you know, you got your standard, like, you know, killing 1,000 mobs, right? I think you have what else? Those will probably be 3x coupons. These are probably like weekly coins, right? Yep, various different rewards, pretty standard. There's some like white cubes for egg server, magpie, prep pendant, black flames, a bunch of solar to energy, which I hope will be turned into coupons. Please, please, solar to coupons. Stop giving us this time like 1 energy as a reward. It's terrible. It's terrible. Yeah, what else is there? There's the collection book as well. So you do this like 5 times per week, right? EXP vouchers, blah, blah, blah. Again, pretty standard stuff. I don't want to get like, I'm not going to go into too detail about this. There's some mini games, right? You can go play soccer. This is going to be a ping fest. But you can play soccer in game, right? There's something with acorns. Okay. Yep. So, okay, that looks like a clown fiesta. And then the ultimate collaboration. I think this is where they collabed with their other games, right? That they own. So there's that too. There are temp stats, obviously, right? And then like special skills too, like, you know, the standard stuff that we are used to. All right, so overall, a very like, you know, solid anniversary event. Hopefully, we do get some more customized and localized like GMS stuff when it comes to the 20th anniversary. But it does seem like it's going to be themed around the Victoria Cup, right? Based on this image. Okay. So does it suck? No, it doesn't suck. Personally, I guess I was expecting a little too much, and I was looking forward to like maybe like a really like custom 20th anniversary. And that's not all, right? That is not all, because they also announced Demon Slayer. That's right. No Dave the Diver, although we still might get Dave the Diver. Who knows? But they confirmed Demon Slayer is collabing with MapleStory, Global MapleStory, from March 19th until April 28th. Okay. There's a microsite. There is a video here. We can go ahead and watch it briefly. I'll mute it. Then I have to kind of, oops. I have to like increase the capture. All right, so you can kind of like watch it together. So you have Tanjiro, which we will be playing as. We will be playing as Tanjiro. There's the progress journal, the mission journal, you know, reaching a bunch of milestones, killing a bunch of bosses for rewards and whatnot. Inosuke and Zenitsu. Nezuko as well. Training journal. Blowing into gourds. Flipping coins. And then there is a bunch of cosmetics. A bunch of different cosmetics, you know. NX outfits, androids, chairs, pets, which are vac pets. They are vac pets, unless they change it. I hope they don't. I hope they don't. But the pets are vac pets. So back pets are coming back. Are those titles? Oh snap. Oops. Are those titles? Were those any good? I see 2 titles right here. There's 3 different medals, and then there's 2 titles right here. Yeah. Inokami Kagura. That's the ultimate skill. Yeah, they are vac pets, and we're gonna get into that in a bit. In reg server, I believe they are gacha. In reboot, well, KMS didn't have reboot right at this point, so hopefully for reboot or heroic over here, it's just gonna be like the standard like 99 KNX, right? Okay. A new job, Tanjiro. Right? Wield your blade and play as the new Tanjiro character in this time-limited character creation event. Explore Maple World, level up, and master exclusive skills. After the event ends, your character will be converted into a hero character. We are getting the JMS version of this event. There is no exclusive, like, Yeti Pink Bean world for Tanjiro. This is on whatever server you play on. We got the JMS version. You're going to get a free 260 hero character, right? Your Tanjiro will be converted. And then if you don't want a hero, you can job change it, okay? It's going to cost you Meso, obviously. But you can job change it to a Dark Knight or to a Paladin. Personally, I think I'm going to do Paladin. Right? We'll see. But I'm probably going to do Paladin. Because Paladin is the Strength Legion piece. That's one less like strength character to work on for my arc. Yep. Skills are granted as you level up, just like Yeti Pink Bean, and you can master special breathing techniques, including the skills below. Then it shows you a bunch of different skills, right? Shows you the water breathing 6th form, Whirlpool. You know, thunder breathing 1st form, Thunderclap and Flash. Very nice. The water breathe no, I can't say water. Water breathing 8th form, Waterfall Bassin, and the special origin skill that Tanjiro gets, the Hinokami Kagura, Dancing Flash. And then the 2nd form, Water and Wheel, is Inosuke's 5th Fang, Crazy Cutting, right? 4th form, Striking Tide. So these are all skills that you'll be able to use. And Tanjiro gets like a absurdly amount. I don't think he's hyper burning, okay? I do not think that he is hyper burning, but basically he gets like a ridiculous like EXP multiplier permanently, so it won't be too hard to get to 260. But listen, you don't need to actively grind this character either. You can just do your monster parks every day, do your dailies and whatnot. He should be able to monster park. And if you want to grind him a little bit, right? But otherwise, like, you can passively get this to 260. One of the titles, I believe, is cosmetic, and the other one is, like, the Moonshade title. Oh, okay. Okay, cool. Moonshade title will be nice. And then we have Tanjiro's journal, right? This image reflects in-game UI. So we have the progress journal, like reaching certain level milestones and then killing certain bosses that will be unlocked on a weekly basis, very similar to the champion burning event that we have going on right now. And then you'll get rewards, you know, that you'll be able to transfer within your account, more than likely. Some of the rewards here: there's a chair, Nezuko android, this face mask, swordsmith face mask, and then a medal. Right, medal as well. And then there are more special events, such as Zenitsu's and Inosuke's Maple Expedition, Tanjiro's Maple Expedition, the Demon Slayer Corp Training Journal, which you can get, participate in daily training and get rewards, like this medal right here, and the Coin Flip Challenge. And then blowing into the gourd, right, the training test, which you'll be able to get a chair. Okay. So I think like Zenitsu and Inosuke's Maple Expedition, that's just like skills that you get, right? As well. just to help you out. And then, of course, the cash shop sales, right? Can't forget about the cash shop sales. Oh, baby. So March 19th, after the maintenance, yeah, until April 29th. That's part 1. And part 2 is going to be April 9th until April 29th. Visit the cash shop for exclusive items based on an anime Demon Slayer. Pick up outfits, hair, and face coupons, pets, chairs, androids, and more. Here's a sample of what is available. So you have the Tanjiro set right here. You have Nezuko. You have... oh god, I forgot the name of these characters. Muzan. The Demon King of Pop. I don't remember these two. It's, yeah, Michael Jackson. He's the Demon King of Pop, okay? I don't remember these two, but they're Hashiras, right? I don't remember their names. And then you have a bunch of androids too. Right? Really cool androids. And then we have the vac pets, right? I'm assuming there's still gonna be vac pets. Right? But Tanjiro, Inosuke, Nezuko, you have these pets right here. And a chair, right? Oh, this is coming in part 1, by the way. So it tells you like which part, right? These are all part 1, right? Part 2, right, which is in April, you have these capes, right? You have a Inosuke and Zenitsu cape. You have more outfits coming, right? From these characters. I don't want to get names incorrect. And then the chair from the Mugen Train arc. Yeah. Regular MapleStory items, other than the ones listed above, will also appear in the themed boxes. So you are going to need to gacha for this. Personally, I would have preferred if they sold them as like sets, but it is what it is. They got to make their money. All right. Probably custom a buttload. Yeah. Probably. This is not a cheap IP to be collabing with. Yeah, these pets are revivable. Yeah, they're not going to be for free, but you can just, you'll have these permanently, just, well, not, they're time limited, right? But you'll be able to revive them as long as you want. Okay. Yeah, and that's basically it. So we went over the Inkwell Note, went over the anniversary, and the Demon Slayer collab that is coming very soon. And now I have some extra things I want to talk about, referring to the Inkwell Note, but also kind of touching upon certain things he talked about, but also including some of my own thoughts and feedback, right? Feedback is always important. So I made this notepad. Please work. It does not work. Damn it. Okay. There we go. So, yeah, this is what I came up with, essentially, while, I just wrote up a few words, for the stream and some things to talk about, right? Personally, that I would like to see in the game that I think would benefit us in the long run, short run or long run, right? So server merge, right? I wrote here that it's probably easier to implement the KMS made systems already, like the cross-world auction house and cross-world bossing, than to stuff together into one big server. Although I am more for a one big server like Chronos. This also could make maps more available to players, right? If we keep them separated, or just like less, you could have 2 servers, if anything. But hopefully, if they do decide to merge servers, it doesn't have to be one big, could be 2 big servers. But include instancing, right? Give us back instancing in reg server. And if we're going to have cross-world auction house, please, please, please remove the need for Maple Point transactions, okay? For GMS specifically, this makes no freaking sense, okay? I do not want to pay 150k Maple Points to purchase something from a different server, okay? So that is the first thing regarding server merges, right? Which was mentioned in the Inkwell Note. Now, the second thing is familiars, right? And I have two things, or I guess two things about familiars, right? First thing is just revamp the system, familiar redux, right? Remove the summon gauge. Nobody likes upkeeping it. It's extremely tedious. That can get, made better. Remove the summon gauge. Just allow us to summon familiars as long as we want to. It's really dumb. Really dumb. Remove the really shit lines, right? In parentheses, 10% chance to finger myself is not a good line. I kept that in. It's not. I'm just saying. It's not. But there's some really, really garbage lines in familiars, okay? So please remove at least the really, really, really garbage ones. And then I also talked about making tiering up 100%, but double the cost of familiar gauge needed, right? And I said this is the most fair because the tier up rate from rare to epic is 80% and epic to unique is 40%, kind of meet in the middle type of deal. But if you double the cost needed currently as it stands, but make the tier up rate 100%, always successful, I think that's a good middle ground, and it makes the system overall less shit. It makes it just more appealing. It's less frustrating failing, epic to unique like 8 times in a row. So we don't want that. And then the second thing I said was to make blue fam cards far more attainable. In my opinion, they are gatekeeping the hell out of the mystical familiar cards. I understand it's a new system, right? But it's also not something that is completely new as an idea, right? And I just think that they're gatekeeping for no reason. So I say here to just sell these from Meso in the cube shop, or add them, add familiars into higher end areas like they said, and allow players to purchase them for familiar points for a price that makes sense and unlimited quantity. Right, I think when they revamped the mystical familiar cards in the shop, right, for familiar points, they did it better. But you can only buy still like 3 a month or something, right? Unlimited quantity, okay? Or cap it out like per week, right? That's also fine if you want to do that. I didn't write that, but I'm just like, it's just coming, just whatever. It's on the spot, but like cap it like on a weekly thing. There's a lot of like weekly limits, like Galix, for example. You can cap it to X amount like per week, right? 10, 20 per week or whatever. So that way the Giga grinders still benefit, and are able to grind stuff out. And then people that are like more casual can still take advantage of this, even if they decide to grind, maybe like 30 minutes here, 30 minutes there, an hour there, right? Okay. My music stopped. So that's my comments on like the mystical familiar cards. Galix is just once per week, right? For like each Galix item in the shop, you can just buy one, but that's like a equipment, that's not like a use item, so it would have to be different in this case. Next thing I want to talk about is the magic wand system. Okay, this is for reg server players only, but reg server players want an easier time to cube. There's already so many different ways to upgrade your characters in reg server and many ways to spend money that cubing is becoming a bottleneck for the average player, and I stress the average player. And markets are not as big like in KMS, where there are several pages of finished items, let alone clean or semi-worked on to purchase, right? There's already so many different ways to upgrade your gear, right? Scrolling, main potential, bonus potential, star forcing, right? Flaming. There's plenty to spend money on in this game, especially in reg server, that I personally believe that cubing needs to be alleviated significantly, okay? I'm not saying that the magic wand system is, the ultimate solution, right? You could go about obviously making cubes more affordable and cheaper in the cash shop as one way. Obviously, you continue to release special cubes more frequently if you were to have the magic wand system, right? Like Unicubes, like Violet Cubes, Equalities, the new Unicube for bonus potential that TMS got recently, or TMS CMS. You would release those more frequently, obviously, as a way to still make money and revenue. But this is like in accordance to like the magic wand system, right? You know, in regards to specifics, I don't have the specifics, right? But I think reg server players could benefit significantly from having magic wand and GMS, right? And then the last thing is the heroic shared boss drops situation and issue. Okay. And I said, there is no reason why drops should be shared at all in a server where you cannot trade. This disincentivizes you to be in a party with players, especially at a high level, because drops are so rare. And even when you do hit a drop, there is obviously no guarantee that it will pass or succeed in any nature. Okay? And I really mean this. Like it's more beneficial for a Giga endgame player to go solo normal Kalos than to want to party up with other players for chaos mode or extreme mode, right? Besides the once in a blue moon like enhancement drop that might drop, right? I think all drops in heroic should be individual, should not be shared anymore. Whatever is shared, grindstones, the enhancements, right? Pitched boss. I think everything should be instance. I think everything should be to yourself, right? Because people just don't want to play with others. Simple as that, right? They don't. They want, like, you still want to be able to help your friends. Don't get me wrong. You do. But you sacrifice a lot in the long term for it, you know? And a lot of people are just more driven to solo play because of this in heroic. Yep. And that's it. That's basically it. That's what I wanted to share. My personal like feedback moving into the future, 2025, 2026 and onwards. And I think these 4 issues, there's obviously more, right? There's obviously more. Pitch pity, I didn't include that. But I didn't want to go like too hard on this. But you know, when it comes to the server merge that was mentioned, familiars were mentioned, and then I mentioned 2 things that weren't, which is the magic wand for reg and the, you know, shared boss drop situation in heroic. I thought this just made sense to kind of include it here. And these are like the most important things that I would like to see happen, you know, or be addressed, talked about with Team GMS, right? What needs to be worked on immediately, right? Yeah. So, I mean, you can let me know, right? This is going to be a video, so you can let me know what you think about this, right? Do you agree? Do you disagree? You know, what else could they do, right? It doesn't have to just be about these 4 topics. We mentioned pitch pity, right? What else could they do? What else is important, you know, to be done in your opinion? But, you know, this is all just like an open forum. This is a way to get more feedback. But yeah, it's also just a introduction to 2025, right? So yeah, that's about it. That's all I had.